UCD Rugby has a long and proud tradition of playing at the highest level in Ireland since 1910.
The values of teamwork and leadership exhibited by the players on and off the field continue to be a great inspiration for our firm and our staff. Crow is proud to be the official club sponsor of UCD Rugby. Like the club, our firm recognises the importance of investing in the training and development of young talent.
We're very privileged to have Crow as a main club sponsor. They supported us when we needed it most, and it's a relationship we deeply value.
Since becoming sponsors in 2013, we've seen the club go from strength to strength, developing players that compete at the highest level.
The club has produced many notable players over the years who have gone on to wear the Irish jersey and also represent the British and Irish lines. Players like Brian O'Driscoll, Mick Doyle and Fergus Slattery, to name just a few. More recently, players like Gary Ringrose, Rob Carney, Josh Van der Fleer and Dan Levy are making a big impact on the Irish team and were part of the 2018 Grand Slam squad. Support from our sponsors, like Crow, has also enabled the club to further develop our women's rugby teams and establish what has become a hugely successful tag rugby programme.
The relationship we've fostered with UCD Rugby gives us the opportunity to interact with players and attend a range of social events throughout the year. Our employees have also been able to support the club's charity initiatives. For example, we joined players to fundraise for cancer research over the last few years.
It's Crow's loyal support that ensures the club can continue to focus on what we do best, developing young talent and ensuring our players reach their potential, both personally and professionally.
Crow wishes UCD Rugby continued success. We're extremely proud of our long-standing relationships with the club, the players, coaches and managers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very welcome to a wet and wintry UCD Bowl tonight for the 67th annual Colours rugby match between UCD and Dublin University. The first colours, of course, took place on the 18th of October 1919, so quite a bit of history behind us. I'm joined tonight in the commentary booth by Vinnie Hammond, performance analyst with the IRFU, formerly of UCD Rugby. Vinnie's usually spotted beside Joe Schmidt at the Irish matches, and he's beside another Joe tonight of arguably similar rugby intellect. Joseph McGinley, welcome, Vinnie.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. Yeah, really looking forward to this. It's a special fixture every year, and I guess having it at home in UCD makes it a little bit more special for us here. I think the weather could be all right, Joe. I think we could hold off for the next 5 or 10 minutes anyway. It would be good, but it's actually forecasted to hammer down in a couple of, I think it's 15 minutes. Rain starting according to the app that you've given me, so yeah. So good to go.
Two strong teams out tonight. Vinnie, we'll just go through them quickly before the teams come out again for the kickoff. Starting at full back for UCD, we've got Conal Doherty from Lumen Christi College in Derry. We've got Ross Deegan on one wing from Blackrock, Paul Kiernan from PBC Cork at second centre, David Ryan at 12 from St Michael's, Andy Marks from Gonzaga College on the other wing, Matt Gilsonen at out half from St Michael's, and Nick McCarthy at scrum half also from St Michael's. Front rows made up of Emmett Burns, Richie Bergen and Liam Hyland, Emmett McMahon and Tom Tracy, the two second rows tonight from St Michael's and Newbridge respectively. Cian Prendergast coming in for his first colours from Newbridge College at 6. Alex Penny, captain of the club tonight from St Michael's College at 7, and Johnny Guy moves to 8 from St Andrews College. Replacements are Sean Maloney, Sam Griffin, Evan Coyle, Brian Cawley, a familiar name on the team sheet, Stephen McVeigh, Nick Peters and Jack Ringrose. On the Trinity side tonight, we have Colm Hogan captaining the club from fullback from Glenstall Abbey, Rob Russell from St Michael's on one wing, James Hickey from St Michael's and Phil Murphy from Colossi Ignod are the two centres, Ronan Quinn on one wing, also from Glenstall Abbey. Out half tonight is Michael O'Kennedy from Gonzaga College and Ronan Osborne from from Clongowes Wood College is at scrum half. The front row made up of Giuseppe Coyne, top try scorer this year for Trinity from Blackrock College, Dan Sheehan from Clongowes Wood College, Dylan Doyle from Ratoath College makes up the front row. In the second row we've got Reuben Pym from Kilkenny College, Cian O'Dwyer from Blackrock, Johnny McKeown, Max Kearney and Niall O'Riordan make up the back row for Trinity. The subs tonight are Joe Horan from Blackrock College, Bart Vermeulen from the European College of Belgium, Arthur Green from St Michael's, Conor Lowndes from Coloshignod, James Fennelly from Blackrock College, Luis Faria from New Park Comprehensive College and Peter Nolte from Clongowes. Two strong sides there, Vinny.
Yeah, very interesting, and it's good to see Nick playing for UCD today as he moves off to Munster next year. Two good halfbacks with Gilsnow at 10 and on the Trinity side as well. I mean, it's a really attacking Trinity team. It's a young team. I think there's, from what I gather, no Trinity player has started a colours game before in the starting 15. So, well, I hope it's right, Joe, because that's what Tony Smead told me. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. The two universities, of course, have been a hotbed of international pastures in the last number of years. Of course, we've had James Ryan, we've had Gary Ringrose.
We've had, arguably, Joe McGinley. I think you were accredited from a halfway line try not so long ago, but actually what happened was somebody was wearing the wrong jersey and you got the mention in the Irish Times, was it?
Well, look, at the end of the day, the paper of record is the paper of record, and Conor Geoghegan will never take that away from me. But a shout out to number 16, number 20, Conor Geoghegan, for that away match in Cork many moons ago. Unfortunately, international honours did not follow. Obviously, Declan Kidney at the time wasn't reading the Irish Times. However, he was replaced by the much more observant Joe Schmidt. Unfortunately, that was after my peak. But anyway, we move on.
These things happen, Joe.
A big crowd building up at the UCD Bowl here tonight. Not sure if you can see it on the stand. A small crowd, I guess, gathered in the stand side, but there are several thousand behind us here at the commentary box.
It's just awkward having the cameras on this side of the gantry. You don't fully appreciate the levels of raucousness on this side of the pitch, but certainly there's at least 2,000 to your left.
Yeah, I would say at least.
And probably another one to your right.
There's definitely one to my right.
Yeah. Right, well, we have a ball.
That's good. I think we're probably about 30 players short at the moment.
Well, we have a steward.
That should hopefully... which steward is that? I don't see that on the team sheet.
No, I don't think he was named. Oh, no, it's a Trinity. It's coaching staff. Still don't have a steward.
We actually have two stewards tonight.
No, we do.
Referee Stuart Gaffigan
Yeah.
is the whistleblower in the middle this evening, and he'll be joined by Andy Cole, of all people, as a sub-referee, and touch judge Eamon Sawyers. Hopefully a quiet night for those three gentlemen.
Yeah.
You may remember Stuart Gaffigan, of course, Vinny, from your playing days. Had your memory at your ripe old age stuck by you? I believe he sent you off in a prior match. Is that correct?
He did. He put me outside the boundary of the field for an infraction, and I think we've patched things over now since we've not spoken since. So I'm sure time has healed that one for sure.
It is true that.
Who's the physio tonight, Joe?
Physio tonight is Shane Geraghty, I think, by the looks of things.
Really?
It's safe to say, though, as herbalists have told me, time is a healer.
Right.
Okay.
2 minutes shy of kick-off here, and I'd say they're going to probably have to close the turnstiles at this stage.
Yes, I can tell you that I haven't seen a crowd this large in UCD for quite some time. So Trinity are entering the pitch at the moment. Last minute thoughts, Vinny. Who are you tipping for tonight's 67th annual colours match?
I'm going to go with a 4-point win to UCD.
Okay,
that's what the algorithm has spat out this morning, and that's what we're going to go with.
Okay then. Much less to be said. I think I'm going to go for a Trinity win tonight. That is, of course, if they continue their rich vein of form. They've won 5 out of the last 6, recently beating Cork Constitution 37-13. UCD on the back of 3 straight losses. Form isn't on their side, but as we know, in that melting pot that is the annual Colours Derby, anything can happen.
And certainly, I think Trinity this year as well, they still would have ambitions to get into top 4 playoff.
Have they done that before?
I don't think so, Joe. No, I think it'll be the first year they get into the top 4, and certainly have a team that can score tries. So I think we've got the leakiest defence in the league, and yeah.
Excellent. As they say in the States, they've got the scoriest.
The scoriest, for sure.
That's fantastic.
Sure.
Okay, well, we are about to kick off here with Matthew Kilston with the ball in his hands.
Anyone joining us live, just remember the scoreboard will be updated audibly as opposed to visually. So if you haven't heard the score in a while, don't be afraid to write a comment in the comment section, and we'll refresh the score. But it's safe to say it's 0-0 here, and it's going to be right on time, hammering rain at kickoff.
Matt Gilson kicks off, and fullback Colm Hogan spills the ball forward from the restart. Referee hasn't spotted it. But number 11, Ronan Quinn from Glensall Abbey, makes a break with a quick rubber through. And it'll be a UCD throw-in on the left-hand side, 10 metres in their own half.
Yeah, first throw for Richie Bergen here. He's been in a lot of trouble at home because every time he's turned up for a game this year, he's brought one of his mum's towels with him, but not just the raggy kind of old ones. He's taken the good ones with the patterns and stuff. So he's got one here again here tonight, so he's probably at the end of that.
Certainly testament to the boom being back. UCD lose a line out to the tail there, and Trinity have turned it over. They've got the ball 5 metres inside the half. Scrum half, Ronan Osborne starts moving his pack. A little slow ball, UCD have done well to slow that one down. Cut inside from centre, Phil Murphy there of Colossia ignored. And some good tackling there. UCD have managed to pin the back 5 metres, but a wide break here now. And they're pinned down by 14 on the UCD side. Ross Deegan with a good cover tackle.
Oh.
Trinity attacking the wider flanks now with Max Carney of Belvedere College. Trinity scrum half screaming for the ball there. Slow, good work from UCD in terms of aggressive defence. And we're back to the halfway line again with the slow ball from the Trinity side. The voice you may hear intermittently is that of Bobby Byrne, Director of Rugby of UCD, encouraging his troops. And a good kick there from out half Michael O'Kennedy into the corner, leaves Trinity deep into the UCD 22. Good start from Trinity so far, Vinny?
Yeah, I think so. They've been pretty pragmatic there, and they were getting no change out of a couple of runners around the corner. They just put one down inside the 22. I think early in a big game like this, trying to get out of your own 22, the rain's just coming down, I think that's a good tactic.
Certainly is. We'll see if UCD can improve on the prior line-out.
That's a lot better going to the tail there again, but I mean that took a bit of guts to go there twice, especially in the wet ball, but that's probably a quick exit there for UCD. There goes Nick McCarthy.
An excellent offload there, and well played from Nick McCarthy as he grubbers through, takes it into the Trinity half. Trinity break with fullback Colm Hogan. A tackle there eventually by 12 David Ryan on the UCD side. We set up a maul now. And it's been turned over. It's turned over. Nick McCarthy's kicked through deep into the Trinity 22. Winger Ronan Quinn has gone down on the ball as the Trinity guy scrambles to get back. And they seem to have averted the danger at the moment. UCD now 5-10 metres inside the Trinity 22, their first entry into the 22. Let's see if UCD or Trinity can clear it. Box kick from Rowan Osborne doesn't make touch, and Nick McCarthy catches well, bounces off one tackle from Ruben Pym and breaks it wide through Conal Doherty, and the ruck set up in the middle of the half in the 22. UCD with one off runners, Trinity holding them back pretty well in the initial stages. Slow ball again.
Yeah, Ronan Quinn did really well to get back on that, but now UCD have a decent attack built on this side of the pitch. If they look up, and they can probably see there's a bit of space. Trinity playing with winger on this side quite high,
Good carry there from Liam Hyland. And Nick
Yeah,
McCarthy
they've
goes
seen
to
it.
a crossfield kick. It's Ross Deegan up against his much smaller counterpart Ronan Quinn, but UCD come back for the penalty advantage. Good afters there from Ruben Pym. There's just no place for that in the game these days, is there, Vinny? There really isn't.
Never seen anything like it, Joe. I think Ronan Quinn did really well twice there. Firstly, to get back and cover that ball that was kicked through, but secondly, probably he's losing half a foot in height against Ross Deegan, but to take that ball under pressure, he's probably averted a try because he's nothing in behind him if that ball goes through.
It's safe to say this commentary box knows a thing or two about being the smallest person on the pitch.
I'd say we're
good to see that
combined
bravery.
10 foot.
Well, if you had the two cameramen, that's certainly true.
Conal Doherty to have a go here. It's tricky conditions to kick in, but it doesn't seem to be much wind. It's more, I think it's just going to be...
Certainly there are no flags, particularly blustery at the moment.
There's no flags particularly visible, Joe. I can't see. What flags are you looking at?
I can't see any. Conal Doherty with the kick, and it's successful. UCD taking a 3-0 start.
It's good. A guy like Conal Doherty in your team is a really long-range kicker, and I think that's going to be key if we can get some kind of return on every time we get down into that half. And I say we, I mean UCD, get into that half and come away with some points.
Absolutely. Conal Doherty taking his tally to 62 points for the season. He's UCD's top point scorer, so he will be looking to capitalise on that tonight. A very strong carry there from Emma McMahon. Takes UCD just outside their own 22. Nick McCarthy has the ball at his feet. And the box kick.
It's just
Not much distance in that one, Vinny.
no, that's a 60
But
degree.
it's spilled, and UCD have capitalised on that from the knock on from Trinity, and they carry up through the middle with a very strong carry from centre Dave Ryan. UCD look to capitalise, and Nick McCarthy with a deep box kick into space into the Trinity quarter again. Oh, and Colin Hogan, captain, spills it at the first attempt, tries to run it out, and he evades the first tackler, but 14 Ross Deegan manages to get him at the second attempt. UCD are now deep into the Trinity 22, and Trinity look to recycle. A quick ball in towards the 15-metre line, carried up by Dylan Doyle and secured well by his surrounding pack. UCD fan out now at the moment and wait for the box kick.
It's a tricky place to get out of here for Rowan Osborne, but his first one, I think he hit a bit short. He's got to give this a bit more. That's a cracking ball. That's a really good kick.
An excellent clearing kick there from Rowan Osborne from deep inside his 22. Takes Trinity to just outside the 10-metre line in their own half. Thrown again from Richie Bergen. Let's hope those towels stay clean tonight.
He's gone for the spotty one. I don't know if we can get that on. He's gone for the. It's kind of a dark
Let's hope
brown.
So it's obviously been stood on the way through. An excellent throw to 6, but it's intercepted well by the back row of Trinity, and they have turned the ball over.
I don't know if the ref picked that up, but UCD are a mile offside there, but they've got away with it.
Strong carry from Dan Sheehan of Dublin University.
Got to watch that outside break from Michael Kennedy.
Trinity playing some expansive rugby here, Vinny, but not making much by way of yardage.
No, but they've got a lot of numbers out here. If they can look up and see, there's probably a massive mismatch on the end with 2 for 12.
Looks like a 7.
Oh.
So Trinity with their first penalty of the match, 5 metres inside their own half, spurning the opportunity of a 7-on-4 over on the short side.
It was a 7-on-4 if they got it out quick enough. But sometimes, again, you know, it's hammering down rain. It's hard to see that you can get those 3 passes away to get to the edge that you're trying to get to.
Good Good kick from Michael O'Kennedy there again. He's been pretty assured with the boot so far.
Yeah.
Takes Trinity just outside the 22, halfway between the 22 and the 10-metre line. Opportunity, their first platform, Vinny.
Yeah, and I think what you have in Michael O'Kennedy is an out half that probably threatens both ways. He can kick like that, but you look at the last couple of plays, he can jink back inside and he can attack the inside defender at 12. Yeah.
And again, another spoiled line out, this time from Trinity, as Emma McMahon cleans up in the middle and wins UCD a penalty for not releasing from the tackler. So UCD will look to gain a territorial advantage, having so recently given it up.
I think the best thing about these colours matches is always that breakdown battle that we have, and I think both flankers, there's been some great flankers played in colours games. There's been Josh van der Fleer a couple of years ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dan Levy. There's guys that put a lot of pressure on the ball. Sean O'Brien. And it's going to be no different tonight with a back row battle of McKeown, Carney and O'Riordan against Cian Prendergast, Johnny Guy and Captain Alex Penny.
And a great take there at the back of the lineup from Cian Prendergast. Launches an attack for UCD up the middle. There's a little bit of a spillage. Oh no, and there's an intercept from winger Rowan Quinn. He makes 30 yards or so for Trinity as they attack, and this is the first platform Trinity have really had at speed. Bit of a fumble there from scrum half, but the advantage.
That's again good breakdown pressure there from UCD, and I think it's probably it's something that they look like they're going to focus on, is making that ball as messy as possible coming back for Ronan Osborne. And I think Ronan Quinn was gone there, and maybe dink it ahead or put it on the floor. But
certainly it was quick thinking from Rowan Osborne there. He managed to intercept Paul Kiernan from the short side ball, looking to hit Ross Deegan at pace, and he obviously read that pretty well. Made himself 30 yards, but unfortunately through the mistake of Rowan Osborne, it is now scrum to UCD. The score remains 3-0 to UCD after that 16th minute penalty, or excuse me, that 7th minute penalty from Conal Doherty. First scrum, Benny. It'll be a opportunity for both sets of front rows to lay a marker down. Let's see how Liam Hyland gets on. And we've had our first scrum collapse.
Yeah, that's how we can buckle up here for a while, Joe. It's definitely the most educated two front rows in the country. Limo's side, I think even then there's some serious intellect in those.
I think it's probably the most intellectual front row that the colours might have seen, given that Dan Sheehan, the Trinity hooker, is educated in UCD.
Oh, so well, I mean, that gives you that tilts the balance, doesn't it?
We've 2/3 of the front row have been educated in Ireland's premier institution, with 1/3 of them split across Dublin University. Here we go, Nick McCarthy to feed. It's a pretty dominant scrum from Trinity, it must be said. Nick McCarthy managed to get the ball away to Gilson, and they attack up the middle. Very strong tackling there from the two Trinity centres. UCD will look to recycle quickly as that ball is pretty slow. Again, good line speed from Trinity.
I mean, there's constantly space on the edge, but whether either team are prepared to go there in the conditions that are out there. I mean,
McCarthy with the 40-metre box kick, but unfortunately is straight to touch, so we'll come back for the Trinity put in. The statistics have showed you, and it's a pretty small sample size, that those that throw the ball in are most likely to lose it, so maybe UCD not too worried about competing tonight.
That's what the algorithm is spitting out currently, Joe.
I think it might be broken. That's such a fax copier. So we see here, this is the ball from Nick Peters, unfortunately just several metres short of the touchdown.
Nick McCarthy, Joe. Nick Peters is sitting on the side there to our left.
We'll get a good clearance kick here from Andy Marks.
Yeah, Andy Marks, good left foot to get us out of there, but I think this is going to be trouble if Trinity look up
13,
here.
James Hickey carries strongly. UCD fan out. And another good carry there, it must be said, from Dylan Doyle. Again, slow ball.
Definite space.
Break from Rowan Osborne there again. He's been nippy.
Yeah, I think UCD have got to be
Some
conscious.
excellent footwork there from Ronan Quinn of Glenstall Abbey as the ball comes wide from Trinity. There's an overlap there, but a spill from number 10, Michael O'Kennedy, and a great tackle there from Matt Gilsey, who's turned the ball over for UCD in what was a very dangerous position, it must be said, Vinny.
Yeah, Dave Ryan came up really hard there, and yeah, we're in big trouble if that goes wide. I think Rowan Osborne is going to be a real threat now, especially around those fringes. He's quick enough to go if there's half a gap.
Liam Hyden with the carry there. Yeah, another strong carry there from Cian Prendergast. Ball's there for Nick McCarthy.
You've got to get it out of here, I think, because that's a well-set Trinity line now, so I don't think they're going to get much change out of playing through this, and I think both teams are going to have to accept, whether they like it or not, that they're going to have to kick a bit more ball than they probably would have. And there you go, you get a good return.
From Trinity, and a questionable offside there, but referee was definitely best positioned to take advantage of that. So a little bit scrum to UCD. Again, the second scrum of the night.
Second scrum of the night, Joe, still 3-0. 7-minute penalty from Conal Doherty, and the first or second time we've had a physio intervention here for Alex Penny. Just taking another bang on the face. He's one of those kind of face tacklers, isn't he? He
certainly is, yeah.
He's full collision mode in most of the things that he does, carrying and tackle, but he's definitely a face tackler.
So look in the replay there, an excellent break, as we said, from Rowan Osborne, and well taken down. Good line speed from Andy Marks on the left-hand side, forces number 13, James Hickey, through the gap, and his great footwork gets him through there. And here's really where the opportunity lies, but unfortunately soft hands was needed, and unfortunately wet hands were what was that?
Wet hands, we'll call it, but yeah, coming up really, really well there was David Ryan, and yeah, I think UCD are going to have to accept that. Although we're looking for we're looking at the threats out wide here. There's a lot of space, there's a lot of space in and around the fringes.
Sure. And we go back to live here again. UCD with their second put-in of the evening.
Yeah, and I think in the first one for sure Trinity had the edge in the hit anyway. Giuseppe Coyne causing trouble on this side. Done well to stabilise it, UCD, and get the ball out.
Matt Gilson was first kick of the night, finds space deep inside the Trinity 22.
It's a really clever kick.
It certainly has. Yeah. Excellent kick there from Matthew Gilson.
Again, there's nothing complicated about that. It's really, really just clever tactical play. Just put the ball down there. It's lashing rain. Sometimes in this situation, it's better not to have the ball in that space and accept that, yeah, you're going to have to kick more than you would like.
And look, as we said before the game, the line-out is really a lottery, and you don't even have to buy a ticket tonight to win some prizes, as the throw-in has typically gone against you.
Yeah, and again, this is a pressure line out. Trinity going to the front here, and that's a really good take. It's a good throw, but and let it go at the front again. I tell you, Rowan Osborne has cleaned up a lot of the mess at the back of that Trinity, that time at the back of the maul, or the Nunset maul, but definitely at the back of their ruck. He's taken on a lot of responsibility to clean it, and he's done really well and offered a threat around the breakdown.
He certainly has. UCD will need to be aware. The ball is at the feet of Rowan Osborne again to clear, deep inside the 22. And again, another very strong kick from Rowan Osborne, it must be said.
Yeah, they've done really well to relieve the pressure there. Trinity won a really good line out.
First line out of three that they've won, and they've again had the guts to go to the back with an excellent take from Cian O'Dwyer. Unfortunately, it was the plant and the pass to scrum half Rowan Osborne that let them down a little bit. But again, very even match, it must be said. Conditions certainly a bit of an equaliser, but how are you viewing it so far?
I think, well, that's actually an excellent line out from UCD now. Really good throw, good catch, good call. The maul is well set here, although Trinity have an advantage in terms of that's the first stop called by Stuart Gaffigan, and Nick McCarthy here has a decent blindside here. If he looks up, he's probably taking it down.
Questionably in the side there.
Questionably.
From 5 and 6 from Dublin University. UCD rumble on to the 22,
and that's an advantage.
Here. This is the kind of thing they thrive on. Andy Marks with the step inside, takes it 10 metres inside. A very good clean out low body position from Alex Penny to secure that ball. We've taken a carry here from Emma Burns, his first carry of the night from what I can see. Again, UCD set up a platform, but it's slow ball.
It is slow ball, but those short plays to David Ryan, I think coming off his left foot, he's really explosive. And that inside Trinity defence has got to be aware that he can go at that space. There's space out wide here for UCD if they go for it.
Conall Doherty with a very risky play there. Obviously saw he had the penalty advantage, went for the between the legs move, didn't pay off. These aren't the conditions for those, but if you have the safety net of a penalty, it is certainly easier to do so.
Yeah, and I think there's an element of the colours in there too, and to try something like that, it doesn't come off. There's a bit of a risk, but really, is there? You know, you have that penalty advantage, and I love seeing players go for something like that.
He gives himself a position to add to his 62-point total for the season, in a similar position to his 7th minute strike from the tee. We've got 22 minutes or so gone. I would say, just look at this maul, Vinny. Excellent body positions, a good carry. Trinity had 6s and 7s in defence there.
Yeah, I think, and the thing for me was they got set really early in that maul, and it's really hard to stop a maul when it gets moving like that. They were set deep. I think it was Max Carney that took it down in the end, but you know, some penalties you kind of give away, and it might actually be one that was worth it because it was building on the far side had UCD got that ball out. So
again, it was slow ball here. We'll look through it again. An excellent carry there again from Tom Tracy, who's had a good start to the match. Okay, we're back live here, and we've got Conall Doherty. The crowd are silent, just to make it 6-0. And he's successful. That's 6-0 now to University College Dublin in this 67th annual colours match. So form again out the window, as we thought at the start of this game, as Shane Geraghty, UCD manager, makes his way slowly off the pitch. Good to see a man of his age still out and active.
this is Shane's 73rd colours match as a manager, and it's a really big achievement for him. So it's great to see him out there moving so well.
It's great to see him anywhere, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael LeKennedy kicks off for Trinity deep inside the UCD 22. Nick McCarthy gathers up well and finds an excellent touch. Trinity go faster.
Oh yeah, it's a late flag. That is a late flag.
All over this with an excellent positioning. And we go to our 8th lineout of the match.
Fair play, keeping the stats and the lineouts. Very good. We normally would have the graphic come up now, but...
And the graphic is live. Oh no, we've an issue with the graphic at the moment, but we'll have. Right,
UCD really want to make sure that they have a solid scrum here, because in the last two they've creaked and it looked like Trinity were just about to get that edge, but Nick McCarthy's got the ball out in time. But if you're Giuseppe Coyne and Dan Sheehan in that front row, with Dylan Doyle, I'd say you'd be giving this.
A large blindside there, Vinny, must be said. No one seems to have much of an interest. Nick McCarthy breaks. Oh, an excellent spoil there from Rowan Osborne at the back of the ruck. Nick McCarthy being caught well. Again, taking advantage of the conditions. Rowan Osborne has certainly been the star of the show to start this game. Big carry from 12 there, Phil Murphy. Talk of a high tackle, but I think that's premature. We haven't quite got to the nipple line yet.
No.
Another strong tackle there from Richie Bergen.
And Trinity's switching the play really well here, and I don't know if that UCD defence is
well over the ball.
Is seeing it, but they're really well set now. Really well set. It's an opportunity for UCD to come up and make that tackle. I think he's gone to choke him, but he's probably just held him up, Johnny Guy, just enough to slow that ball down and get off the line here.
Another big hit tackle there from Liam Hyland.
He's still tackling him actually, Joe.
Watch this off the ball, and they're discussing Christmas card addresses as they make their way back, and UCD make their way up the left-hand side with a good attacking platform here. Thrown away by Emmett.
Yeah, Emmett McMahon's just looking to plus that pass on, just a short ball, but there's nobody there, and unfortunately that's taking the pressure back onto us.
Didn't they have a short open side here?
Yeah.
Good cover tackle. They had numbers, it seemed. Again, working the short side well. I think that's really where they're going to get most success. I think when they've tried this slow ball over and back, it hasn't worked for them. The short side has been certainly fruitful for them. Number of carries there from Rowan Osborne, Phil Murphy and James Hickey. And
they've got Ronan Quinn on the touchline here if they see him or if they want to go there. I know he's losing in height in terms of in the air against Ross Deegan, but...
great pressure there from Andy Marks to intercept. Doesn't quite collect it, but puts enough pressure on Rob Russell to knock it on. So we again have another scrum. I feel that the set piece is going to be a set piece for this evening.
It certainly is, Joe. It's going to be, Well, if it continues like this, it's going to be a lot of scrums, and unfortunately for both teams is that scrums in this area of the pitch, they go down. Anything after 20-30 minutes in a game, ref starts to penalise you, just penalty, and all of a sudden you lose 3 to 6, 9 points for scrum penalty. So still 6-0 here, 17 and a half minutes to play.
9.5, yeah, absolutely. Again, looking from a strong carry there from Trinity, but it's the hands really that are letting both sides down at the moment. You see 10 coming wide. A good carry there from Max Carney, and again it's slow ball. Rowan Osborne really finding it difficult.
There you go.
So with their first scrum penalty of
penalties.
Really a turning point.
Yeah, I don't know if a turning point, but hopefully not a turning point in the scrum. In terms of it being in a contest that there's going to be a penalty every second scrum here now. I know it's hard out there, but it would be just great to have the ball in play.
It must be said, special kudos to the groundskeepers for the excellent condition of the pitch this evening, and a sparkling green for this time of year. It's really great conditions. It's just a shame that the rain has left a little bit damp underfoot. But he who handles the ball best will win tonight. Emma McMahon with a great tackle and an excellent offload from Nick McCarthy, it must be said, to recycle there. UCD carry up with a strong carry, met with a pretty strong defence from Trinity. Excellent hands from Nick McCarthy. Conal Doherty gets it wide. He's got an opportunity if he can offload it. And behind, again, UCD industrious here, but have made a few yards. The strength of Ross Deegan has been helpful there to make the last couple. UCD look to carry again. A little high there, it looked like, but not spotted by the referee.
There's definitely some space. It's just hard conditions to handle there. Trinity playing 2 in the backfield, very, very deep here. There is space just behind that front line if UCD see it. Using that one pass, one play, one pass here, and UCD are a mile offside here, but we're gonna play on anyway, which is probably for the best.
Good take from Colm Hogan there as he runs it back. Must be met at the first tackle. Mix past the first tackle and just caught by a trip tackle from Emma McMahon, but Mix is 40 yards to the halfway line. Trinity recycle again. Will the hands let them down, or will they succeed?
Yeah, Phil Murphy's just able to move that ball across very, very quickly. And UCD, once they have the line set, once UCD have that line set, they can come up and put pressure. But it's just about, like they've done there, just biting in on the wrong player. Oh.
Rowan Osborne with an excellent break, makes it through. He's got a 2-on-1 if he can find it. And number 7, Max Carney, with no one to beat but the line. Unfortunately, the conditions got the better of him and he has spilled it forward. Usually very lucky to get away with that, Vincent.
Massively, and we've been saying it since the start of the game that those areas just in and around the fringes, we've got to be so careful. A guy like Rowan Osborne cut you to shreds there. He's done it twice already. If you're looking at that, you'd probably say, look, just tighten, make them play to that wide, the wide pass. Bit of feedback so far, Joe. Unfortunately, we've got some negative comments about me referring to UCD as we and Trinity as them. So given it's our commentary debut here, we apologise for that. We'll take it on the chin, and we'll try and be less Gary Neville-like when he's watching United.
Super. Look at, here's a great break there again from Rowan Osborne. Steps it, perfect pull back there for Max Carney, and he spills it on. Now he was under a little bit of pressure there, it must be said, from the cover of Johnny Guy, but UCD at the scrum here now. Much better platform, Vinny, much better platform. Oh, it's Trinity with the shove, actually, they've got it turned. Good ball back from Nick Peters, and Conal Doherty clears his lines well to the roof of the UCD ball.
It's Conal's left foot that they've used on the exit play. The scrum itself there, UCD seem to be all right on the hit, but as soon as the longer ball is in there, I think they've got to get it out as quick as they can, because Trinity seem to be getting a secondary drive on, and it's definitely going to challenge UCD. If they can maintain that for the whole game, UCD are going to have to dig in deep in the latter stages of the game when that scrum starts to shift.
There's no doubt about that. We remain 6-0 here at the UCD Bowl to UCD after 2 Conal Doherty penalties in the 7th and 17th minute. Questionable in terms of straightness there in the line output. Trinity have recovered well. Again, the very aggressive Rowan Osborne has been a pain in the side of the UCD defences, and you would think for the evening that's in it, Vinny, I know you mentioned the fact that UCD should tighten up a little bit. It's amazing to see that there is space around the rucks, just given the conditions underfoot. It's hard to play wide rugby that both teams are famed for.
Yeah, and I think both teams are trying it as well, Joe, but yeah, again, that's probably a bit more of a pragmatic approach there, hitting Phil Murphy up in the middle, but no, there is going to be space if they don't defend in
Rowan
those...
Osborne again with the breakthrough.
Those pillar channels.
Good carry there from Johnny McKeown, first time I've heard his name. He's been more in defence than attack. Again, Rowan Osborne looks to let them break free. Good carry from Cian O'Dwyer. Stopped well by UCD. Trinity have certainly been the more industrious with the ball, but not much by way of territory so far. Rowan Osborne being their main outlet at 9. Here we go, trying an attack wide. Takes it up from 12. Phil Murphy, again stopped well. Threatening across the UCD 22. Recycling the ball well, given the conditions. Nice hands there from Michael O'Kennedy, but a strong tackle from UCD spills the ball from Phil Murphy's hands.
UCD advantage, yeah. And on a day like today, I think any advantage, you've got to look to have a rattle and play, because we have an advantage there where we, again, it's UCD have an advantage. There's an opportunity just even put the ball to boot and just get down the other end of the field.
Yeah, it's safe to say in the conditions that we have, not much by way of rain at the moment, but there had been a heavy rainfall on the way down, of course.
So Joe, it's raining, in fairness.
Absolutely not.
We're in an indoor environment here.
Speaking of which, the roof remains off. Here we go again. Rowan Osborne looking to recycle. Great carry there from Cian O'Dwyer. Just breaking through. Alex Pennymore back to the action. A super carry there from Andy Marks by the looks of things.
No, that was, I think it was Dave Ryan.
Puts James Hickey down. Slow to recover. Again, there's been big hits from both sides and big carries from both sides. No inch given or taken. Again, big carry here from Cian Prendergast. Looks to recycle. Trinity again manfully defending. Nick Peters gets the ball at his feet. Looks like it's going to be a slow recycle. UCD take to the air again, looking to take advantage of that significant height advantage of the back three.
Yeah, that's a much better ball from Nick McCarthy, but the chase has to be as good as a kick there, and there's still, that's better.
Excellent tackle there from Conal Doherty and Trinity captain Colin Hogan, who did well under pressure and the wet conditions to take the high ball initially. Trinity looked to pick and go around the corner, again tightening it up, seems like it's a sensible play.
Yeah, and that's just one little plus pass there. Trinity have done really well all day.
Excellent offload and two offloads. There's a try on here if he can give it. It's gone to the corner. We're about to see Ronan Quinn slide over.
It's a cracking try. It's a Rob Russell.
That was Rob Russell, yeah. You're right, yes. After three excellent take and gives, I think it was Dylan Doyle that started off that move. Tight head Dylan Doyle gives an inside pass. Some excellent support work from Rowan Osborne and Rob Russell. So often the unthanked support runner manages to touch down for the first try of the evening. That makes it 6-5 to UCD. A tough conversion to follow.
Yeah, that's a cracking try. If you look on the edge, they've just built some numbers on the short side, but it's that tiny little plus pass that just gives them the space just there, and a really, really sharp line there.
Just watch Rob Russell here on the outside again. Keeps his depth, manages to stay there. And then runs it in well with a great bit of pace and touches down early.
We've been talking about Rowan Osborne since the start of the game, but really, if you take him out of that Trinity attack, that's massive danger from every time he's on the ball. That's great vision and it's great confidence to play that small plus pass. You don't have to throw a wide ball in the conditions like this. The small pass with a good line break and in behind then. And you would say, Joe, the amount of teams that would make those line breaks and not finish them is huge, and good composure to finish it off. In fact, they did make one and didn't finish it.
The kick from O'Kennedy wide of the post to the left-hand side. So again, I think that score is pretty reflective of the first 35 minutes or so here. Vinny, 6-5 to UCD, marginally ahead, but I think not much between the sides.
No, it's very reflective, Joe. UCD have had 2 penalties, 3 points each, and Trinity have had a try which was 5. So yeah, perfectly reflective of what's gone on so far.
And reflective, I think, of the attitude of both teams. Trinity probably a little quicker to run the ball so far, so rewarded from that try. Matt Gilson comes down the short side with a pretty deep restart. 15, Colin Hogan takes it, looks to carry at the second attempt. Colin Doherty manages to get him Rowan Osborne out to his 10. A big flank of Trinity forwards waiting to carry the ball up. No yards made, but again, pretty consistent, forcing an angle.
Yeah, Trinity building that blind side every single time. They've got somebody holding on the short side, and it's definitely going to pose a.
Matt Gilson drops back now in anticipation of the kick.
Box pressure!
And that ball's out. And the ball's out. And
That's definitely straight out.
Safe to say, after 34 minutes of this match, that's the first mistake from Rowan Osborne, who's been pretty much peerless in this game so far. So a little chink in the armour, but an excellent start.
Yeah, this is a really good attacking position here for UCD. I think any line out here, it's a good platform for them to go off. Just probably need to temper it a little bit because that rain's come down heavy again. Yeah, they've gone to the middle a little bit safer than the first few at the tail. And that maul is really well set again. Trinity do well to defend this. That's Emmett McMahon in there. I'd say that's his 867,000 maul of his career.
Nick Peters gets the ball. We're again drifting wide. Need someone to straighten up there, it looks like.
It's great tackling there.
Great tackle from the Trinity defence.
James Hickey's come up really quickly.
Quick recycle. Conal Doherty carries up. 12. Phil Murphy manages to straggle him then. I'm not sure if it's obvious from the monitors there, but it is bucketing down here at the UCD Bowl at the moment. Significant pressure under both teams. Let's see if they continue the spirit of college rugby and running rugby. Looks like a penalty advantage to UCD there. Managed to continue, and a pullback move. There's space in behind here if they can find it. Again, strong running from 12, David Ryan, but caught at the second attempt. An excellent tackle there, double tackle from Trinity, it must be said, putting UCD under pressure, making very little by way of yards. Conal Doherty comes down the short side. Nick McCarthy says no thank you, and so he goes back towards the middle of the pitch. Sensible rugby here from UCD, but possibly a little bit playing too much rugby here, Vinny, it must be said, for the conditions.
No, I think you got to play because it's still on to play here.
Here we go, another strong carry there from Paul Kiernan. Nick McCarthy tries to follow the Rowan Osborne show by taking it on, makes 2 yards. The forwards copy him, again making 2-3 yards. I think that's the recipe for this evening, is really the pick and go.
Yeah, there's still options here, Joe. There's still options to go out on the edge. If Nix gets this out here, Gilson in. It's a good carry by Johnny Guy.
Yes. Agreed. UCD switch back to the short side.
And that's David Ryan. Oh, and it's just gone out in the full.
Under a bit of pressure, it must be said, from the Trinity defence, but I think given even in the conditions, there seems to be plenty of space in there behind. He'll be disappointed with that one, a man of his talent.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a talented family he comes from, David Ryan. His sister is one of the stars of the Mount Amble Senior Cup hockey team.
Is that right?
His brother plays rugby as well.
Interesting. And his centre partner, Paul Kiernan, this evening, PBC Cork, son of Michael Kiernan, Triple Crown winner, of course, in 1985. Safe to say, good things ahead for the Kiernans. UCD stop here now at the break. Let's just take a moment here. We've got about 3-4 minutes left in the half. Of course, that clock's not stopping, so maybe 5 to 6 minutes. But again, a real festival of rugby so far, it must be said.
Yeah. And look, it's hard to play out there at the moment, but definitely both sides going for it, which is great. I think Trinity tactically so far made a couple of really clever plays that have got them down the field, but both teams understanding that, you know, putting the ball on the boot and getting a little bit outside of that middle third might not be the worst thing to do on a night like tonight. You look at the replay here.
Again, strong carry there from Richie Bergen, recycle from Nick McCarthy. Just shows how difficult it is to get that ball out. And again, excellent tackling, low body positions, probably a little bit off his feet. UCD look to carry. Again, it's tough hands there, good stepping.
Yeah, that's David Ryan again, just off his right foot this time. It's a really strong carry. Trinity line out to exit out of here. This will be
their fourth line out. They've lost 3 of them. More pragmatic at the front, they take
definitely,
it well.
Definitely, that's good. That's a clever play.
6-7 yards with a dummy throw at the front. Again, strong carry from Trinity. Cian O'Dwyer there in his 5th year playing for Dublin University. But his first colours start, as is the other 14 players for Dublin University tonight. There are no previous colour starters in the team. whereas UCD have significant experience on the bench. And Brian Cawley, as the crowd shout for offside. Another big tackle there from UCD. Looked a little bit high, but both players seem to be fine to get on with the referees.
Yeah, they always look high from here, Joe.
Everything looks high from here.
Yeah. And eventually the penalty
Silly penalty
comes.
given away there by Mahan as Rowan Osborne sensibly slows things down for Trinity.
You look at that box kick again from Osborne. That's as, that's as good as you could ask for from any scrum half, any level. Ball's in the air, 3 or 4 seconds, and the challenge at the bottom then just has to match the
intensity.
match the kick. Match the kick.
Very good. Okay, we're just looking back here now. Trinity looking to take the ball out.
UCD just, I mean, UCD have Trinity under pressure there, Joe. They probably don't need to concede, and yeah, it's a penalty that's unnecessary. Right, score still 6-5 to UCD. The best part of 30 seconds of normal time remaining, plus whatever referee Stuart Gaffigan adds on at the end. Hasn't been too many stops, has there? It's been pretty quick so far.
Absolutely, the spirit of college rugby is well alive. The jeu de vivre and the avantage has continued. So here's this replay of the tackle again. Strong take up there. Looked like he got him ball first and slipped over the top, but again, I'm sure great to see the Trinity player getting up. It's a tough game out there. Maybe it doesn't come across on the monitors, but it is incredibly physical so far, Vincent.
It is, yeah, and there's definitely space now for Trinity to launch one more attack here. Just look that right-hand side line out. They've kept their width on this side of the field here, where we're commentating from. Still have the threat of Ronan Quinn on the edge.
And a good take there from Ruben Pym.
You'd be surprised now if we see any line-outs going past 2, because that's tricky enough to throw.
Ruben Pym, obviously another man from good rugby stock. His father Chris played for Leinster back in the day. Oh, great carry there, but held up well. Trinity will need to get in there quickly to get that ball back, and they have. Balls back to Rowan Osborne again. An excellent offload in difficult conditions to Cian O'Dwyer as he carries on.
By O'Dwyer.
First bit of quick ball for Trinity so far. The good hands have let them down before. Let's see if they can continue the momentum.
Yeah, it's smart by Colm Hogan there, the Trinity captain, just taking it in, resetting it, and Trinity again building a short side here. They have a short side at every breakdown, holding 1 or 2 players on the left-hand side of the field.
Oh, big tackle, a big hit from Dan Sheehan there as Conor McEwen supports. Trinity look to go wide.
And you look at Michael O'Kennedy scanning in the backfield here. He's constantly looking to see the shape of that UCD defence and sending the play left.
Trinity come the short side, they've got an overlap, but the very nippy Ronan Quinn continues. Nobody can touch him, it seems, but he's eventually scragged down by number 8, Johnny Guy, for the UCD.
Yeah, Ronan Quinn's he's had a really good game. Anytime he's got on the ball, he's covered a bit back in defence.
Looks like Michael, been pretty strong so far.
It has, yeah, but Michael O'Kennedy, if you just look, he's just building a pod in front of him here. Play one more out the back and he's away.
It's a big break here from 15. Colm Hogan, he takes it in, well tackled by Conal Doherty. That leaves Trinity just 2 metres short of the line. They carry again, and again it's Spill. The conditions getting the better of him. It's safe to say the rain has definitely saved the UCD defence on a number of occasions so far tonight.
It has,
Handling errors have been the death of Trinity so far. But again, half-time, the score is a very exciting game here at the UCD Bowl. The scores are 6-5 to UCD. 2 penalties from the boot of Conal Doherty, and an excellent team try from Rob Russell down the right-hand side, which was not converted. So 6-5 UCD at the moment.
Good to go.
All are welcome.
We're off.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Since 1910.
The values of teamwork and leadership exhibited by the players on and off the field continue to be a great inspiration for our firm and our staff. Pro is proud to be the official club sponsor of UCD Rugby. Like the club, our firm recognises the importance of investing in the training and development of young talent.
We're very privileged to have Crow as a main club sponsor. They supported us when we needed it most, and it's a relationship we deeply value.
Since becoming sponsors in 2013, we've seen the club go from strength to strength, developing players that compete at the highest level.
The club has produced many notable players over the years who have gone on to wear the Irish jersey and also represent the British and Irish Lions. Players like Brian O'Driscoll, Mick Doyle and Fergus Slattery, to name just a few. More recently, players like Gary Ringrose, Rob Carney, Josh Van der Fleer and Dan Levy are making a big impact on the Irish team and were part of the 2018 Grand Slam squad. Support from our sponsors, like Crow, has also enabled the club to further develop our women's rugby teams and establish what has become a hugely successful tag rugby programme.
The relationship we've fostered with UCD Rugby gives us the opportunity to interact with players and attend a range of social events throughout the year. Our employees have also been able to support the club's charity initiatives. For example, we joined players to fundraise for cancer research over the last few years.
It's Crow's loyal support that ensures the club continue to focus on what we do best, developing young talent and ensuring our players reach their potential, both personally and professionally.
Crow wishes UCD Rugby continued success. We're extremely proud of our long-standing relationships with the club, the players, coaches and managers.
Right, we're back.
We are back. It is 6-5 here to UCD. I think they were pretty lucky to be ahead after the significant chances that Trinity have created, have spilled the ball 10 metres from the line twice, giving bad handling errors. So I think Trinity probably slight favourites in that first half, not reflected on the scoreboard. Michael Kennedy kicks off here for Trinity deep into the UCD half. Caught well there by Tom Tracy as he carries up.
Tricky here for Nick McCarthy, kicking off his right foot to get down this line here.
Again, too much height, not enough distance, it looks like. UCD not retreating the required 10 metres rule. Not a rule you see too often, right enough, but mostly seen around the box kick. If you don't retreat 10 metres in any direction, that can be a penalty infringement. So Michael O'Kennedy with his first attempt at goal tonight. Similar enough distance, although the other side of the post to Conall Doherty's 2 successful attempts. So will this be the difference?
Yeah, Michael O'Kennedy's solid. I mean, he's so far in this game anyway, he's kicked really well out of hand. He's had that one from the far side, which is tricky, but I would back him to get this.
Interestingly enough, though, Vinny, a big call from Trinity to leave James Fennelly on the bench. Scored 102 points this season from the team mostly, so he waits in reserve. Obviously, the faith in Michael O'Kennedy's running game and his tactical kicking has justified that inclusion so far. Let's see if the goal kicking lets him down.
Again, no wind really, but I mean, to make a decent connection with the boot in this weather is tricky.
That's a very unlucky kick.
He's
to
just
the
gone wide to
side
the right.
wide.
I don't know what Conall Doherty's done at the back there, but he's somehow managed to end up on the ground. And
I'd like to apologise there if you may have heard some rude language in and around the studio. There are some Trinity supporters nearby that have had a couple of beers, but it looks things. But look, great to see an atmosphere.
yeah, you can't legislate for that.
kind of
No, you
language.
can't
Absolutely
legislate
not.
for that, Joe.
A long kick out there from Matt Gilson, and Trinity let it bounce.
There'll be a claim for a knock-on, but it's absolutely nowhere near a hand. But it's worth the claim anyway. Always is, isn't it?
Well, look, I think Trinity would be disappointed to lose one there. A good carry again there from Ruben Pym. Ball comes back. Michael O'Kennedy gets a ball wide. Nice ball there to Phil Murphy, it must be said. Carries strong. They're going to need a lot of that tonight. There's a bit of an overlap here if you can get in behind. Again, a great carry there from Niall O'Riordan. Ball's recycled quickly. And an excellent tackle as he continues to knock him back from Richie Bergen. He'd be really happy with that start. But Trinity recover well. Losing Emma McMahon in the process.
Trinity down to 14 here, but that's
unlucky
very
forward pass there.
marginal.
Very, very marginal. Again, it's Rowan Osborne there with the cutout pass. Manages to find James Hickey. I think that ball was pretty good there. Rob Russell was gone if that was allowed. The referee in a slightly better position. We're just above the incident, but I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that one.
Yeah, I think we probably get a look at it here, but there's, I mean, that's a really, really good short line. I mean, they've played that blind side really well so far today. And again, Rowan Osborne just one pass and puts them into a bit of space. Trinity were down to 14 there, and they still managed to find that space on a narrow side. You can see Osborne.
Great pass there, cutting out 3 UCD defenders. Hard to call it there from the
hard to
replay
call
there,
it there.
but it's safe
If
to
you're
say
wearing
Trinity were
blue.
ahead, and they actually caught that one as well. So
Yeah,
they
if
would have
you're
been
wearing blue, I think that's probably still pretty flat. But we'll take that. And far side of the pitch, I don't know. Can you see who's injured over there, Joe?
It looks to me to be number 5, Cian O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer's been good as well, and he's been thrown from in the line out, so they won't want to lose him. It's not Cian
That's actually
O'Dwyer,
not
which
Cian
is
O'Dwyer,
good
yeah.
because he's just in front of us.
UCD, what can they do to improve things? Trinity have certainly had the more successful line breaks so far. The short side has been very good to them. The forward pass let them down a little bit there, but they've had 3 or 4 very clean line breaks in this usually stingy UCD defence.
Yeah, that looks like. Is that Ruben Pym that's gone?
No, I think it's number 7, Max Carney. No, actually, it's Captain Colm Hogan from Glensall Abbey, who has been a rock at the back there for Trinity this evening, so that'll be a disappointment for them.
Yeah, he's been
UCD
really
looking
solid.
to go ahead here by the signs of things without the replacement coming in. 15 not deemed essential to the scrum. But James Fennelly comes in. Again, top try scorer, 102 point James Fennelly.
Yeah,
with a miraculous headgear on.
Yeah, James Fennelly's a really big threat for Trinity and has been. You see him playing 20s, was unbelievably tricky to take down, and
102 points this season. Again, good off the boot as well. UCD again. They've been kept in this game, it must be said, by refereeing decisions and been some strong one-up tackles. Matt Gilson is now going to look to put UCD deep into territory as Nick McCarthy stands off the side of the pitch. asking for more water by the looks of things, or else tape. Hard to tell from these signals. Gilson with an excellent kick.
Fucking bullshit. They're trying to fucking bollocks.
Gilson just puts UCD to the edge of that 22 there.
Richie Bergen looking for a good throw here. This is a great attacking platform. Goes to 2, challenge, but they managed to get it cleaned up through Johnny Guy. UCD launched an attack. That's probably as good as you can expect in these
I think
conditions.
you take anything there once you retain the ball. UCD still have an attacking platform to work from. You look over the backfield. James Fennelly's come on, but he is very far over on that open side.
I think he's closer to the UCD Ag Science building than he is to the ball at the moment.
He is, yeah. He's probably.
Let's see if he's called to action.
He's in a lab, all right.
Another strong carries. You see it really tightened up in the earlier moments of the second half here, as Trinity's defence has remained pretty resolute throughout. I don't remember a line break so far from UCD, so tightening up obviously the order of the day.
You see Andy Marks now just shifting it back across in behind Gilson and to build something perhaps out the back of David Ryan. Marks is coming back here looking. Nick McCarthy sees him, but it's a
penalty advantage to UCD. Side, yeah. Now let's see if they look to use it. Again, quick carries from the UCD tight 5, doing well, making 10 yards in so far.
It's a free play out the back.
Again, unfortunately, a good tackle there from Trinity. And a little pat in the head to remind Nick McCarthy that that ball will need to be faster despite the conditions.
Yeah, it's really good defence from O'Riordan there, because when you look at a scrum half sniping in that area of the pitch, penalty advantage, you've nothing to lose, but he's come up there and he's actually averted what probably would have been a reasonable attack given what UCD had built on the outside there. Score is still 6-5 to UCD.
Here's the replays. You see, look, again, Nick McCarthy doing really well to marshal the troops around the corner. UCD tightening it up. Big carries, some strong defence. Big hit there in defence from Cian O'Dwyer, but UCD remain resolute. 2-3 yards each time, and eventually the penalty is given away. Let's see what that was for. Nothing obvious there at the moment. That was just the advantage that they were playing.
Sometimes you just take it, yeah. You don't ask questions, Joe. It's the left foot of Conal Doherty, and he's hit a kind of a...
Unforgivably.
A 3-iron to the left of the posts.
From 15 yards, not far from the post. Could that be telling? Great take from Andy Marks. Let's see how he runs it back. Oh, big head-to-head there, literally, from Andy Marks with Rob Russell, the try scorer from Trinity. Big carry from Bergen. Again, he's been super in defence, not making much in attack that way. You see, look at the blind side, continue to go on the open side. Not making much by way of progress, but 7 turns. Alex Penny does well to make yards out of nothing there. Matt Gilson has the ball in his hands, pulls it back for Andy Marks, well scragged by the Trinity defence.
There's not a whole lot there. You can do that, like UCD have probably lost ground in the last 3 or 4 attacks, and Trinity keeping 2 players deep in the backfield. So the space is just on the short chip over the top if they take it, but it's a risky enough play.
Another strong carry there from Captain Alex Penny, and judged not to release. I think it was Liam Hyland over the top there. Alex Penny holding on. Trinity, their first penalty of the second half.
Yeah, it's a really good turnover. He's straight in over on the ball, and when you've got your 13 James Hickey making turnovers like that in the middle of the field, that lifts. That's a momentum shifter there. UCD had a little bit behind them, and that's changed. That's changed the shift down into UCD territory.
Yeah, conservative enough kick there from out half Michael O'Kennedy, 5-6 yards outside the 22. Certainly didn't make the most of it. Let's see if his counterpart in the front row make the most of this throw.
Interesting that Dan Sheehan is sharing Richie Bergen's polka dot towel for the throw-in, which is good to see in the spirit of a colours game.
Let's go, Hale, let's go!
Lanarai, as they say after the game. Again, the conditions getting the better of second row. Cian O'Dwyer, Emma Mahan cleans up for UCD. Really the story of the game. And the slowing down of the ball by Dylan Doyle. Poor discipline, too much talk, has led to a UCD penalty. Safe to say, Vinny, when you're wearing a blue scrum cap like that there, obviously more aware of your positioning in the tackle, but if you're going to be giving lip to the referee, it doesn't matter what colour scrum cap you're wearing.
No, it's the Josh van der Fleer look. for, who is it in that Trinity pack, is Johnny McKeown, and then the blue of Max Carney. Risky tactic if you're going to start doing that.
Again, a great steal there from number 5, Cian O'Dwyer. He's been a totem pole in the air tonight.
Great
And
carry.
instead of feathers, he has steals to his name. Again, strong carries from Trinity.
Dan Sheehan struggling here at this side of the pitch, but again, Trinity have built a blind side. They've both sides of this ruck to attack from.
Again, strong defence. Great hands from Trinity. They get wide. UCD press on the outside, but Trinity managed to get around them. Again, the nippy feet work of Ronan Quinn. He really has been a live wire in that left wing tonight, despite the fact he's giving up quite some weight to his counterpart. Trinity hands letting him down again, and we have our 14th scrum of the match so far.
Nice, 14th scrum, is it? On what count?
We've had 10 for UCD and 4 for Trinity.
Nick McCarthy to feed here, and I think if we get that ball away, you get that ball away from here, you've just got to put the ball out of our half or out of UCD half. Excuse me again for the we and the I and the
Some
us.
excellent carries there, must be said, from Dylan Doyle around the corner. I haven't seen a carry like that since Lauren McKenna found the key for the gear shed. Nick McCarthy here.
Space out wide, right. Trinity about 2.5 miles offside, but Conal Doherty is...
It's touched, and let's see it's play on. First touch here for James Fennelly, top try scorer, as he kicks it back deep into UCD territory. Should be an easy take for Nick McCarthy, which it does. Gives it to Conal Doherty. Let's go long again, and well taken there by Rob Russell as he carries it back with the chip over. Should be well looked after.
Very good by Nick McCarthy.
Taking the run. Not much by way of counter rucking there from Trinity. Sees UCD should retain this ball pretty well. Emmett McMahon with a +1. Not necessary in these conditions, I would say. No yards make for that type of a risk, but again, the ball's back for Nick McCarthy. Can he find a good box kick this time? He's let him down a little bit tonight. That's a better one. James Fennelly on there, a little bit of pressure, but not much. Gets the ball away. It's number 8, Niall O'Riordan, who carries well.
Wrapped up by Johnny Guy's opposite number again. Trinity look at the short side.
Rowan Osborne caught there for the first time, I'd say, by Cian Prendergast as he...
Pressure by Richie Berg, and then UCD have brought the backfield up, and the thoughts that they had a turnover ball still back on the Trinity side, and there's a lot of space in the open side if they get the ball away here.
Trinity continue to attack at pace and with direct runners after the very strong carry there from Johnny McKeown. Back row for Trinity, who's played very well tonight. UCD will look to continue. The ball's gone into the air. What's the referee seen? Is it a knock on? Is it hands on a ruck?
It looked like a gushy. You remember a gushy?
I don't, I'm afraid.
You wouldn't have them in Donegal, did you?
I don't think so.
No? A gushy?
So. No, I'm afraid not.
You get a bag of sweets, you throw it in the air and you go gushy and they go everywhere. Nobody knows. No?
Seems like an awful waste of food if you ask me. Anyway,
sheltered life. Okay. The score still
6 points to UCD and 5 points to Trinity. 1 missed penalty apiece on each side. Looking at the replay here now.
We might see what happened. It is.
Again, some great work, great carry, as we said, from number 6, Johnny McKeown. Creates all the space outside. Yeah. UCD really at 6s and 7s on the left-hand side. Quick ball again from Rowan Osborne. Good carries from the centre. 15 yards made from that pass. Again, Rowan Osborne scribed a little bit. It's about time he was tackled, says UCD.
Yeah, that's a gushy job.
And that's a gushy up, according to the technical director beside me here. So back to live action again.
Big scrum here.
Let's see if Emmett Burns, Richie Berg and Liam Hyland have anything new to add. Coyne, Sheehan and Doyle on the Trinity side have certainly been dominant in the first 4 or 5 scrums, but the early shove there could go against them.
Yeah, I mean,
they've lost 2 penalties recently.
UCD could be looking for a free kick or a penalty at this stage of the game, because Trinity's certainly winning the hit, but whether they're winning the hit illegally is the question.
Well, certainly there's no people better positioned than 2 former scrum halves. We've watched more scrums than most referees, it has to be said. I still didn't know what happened though.
No, it's just good to put the ball in and get it out, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, Vinny. It certainly is.
I think the technical term is a hit and chase. I think Trinity have done that perfectly well. It's a great ball by Nick McCarthy, but
Gilson was under pressure. Great work again from the industrious Rowan Osborne. He really has been everywhere tonight. Nick McCarthy did very, very well to break through that tackle after Matt Gilson and put him under pressure from the block kick from Rowan Osborne. Good to see a bit of sportsmanship from the Trinity and UCD players there, albeit less from the crowd by the sounds of things. We are a far cry away though from the Battle of Donnybrook in 1998 when a sharpshooter from the crowd managed to hit the Trinity second row, jumping it forward with the sheep's heart. I mean, there's no place in the game for that.
No, I mean, it's been a while since that, and thankfully the frisking and that kind of thing has stopped. But it was a bloody
Certainly
good.
Before the game it has.
Yeah, and it was an unbelievable throw back then, wasn't it?
It really was. It really was.
To hit somebody at 4 from that side of the crowd was
absolutely
incredible.
Absolutely. Like to shout out to some of our listeners in the United States of America. There, Cathal Doyle listening in from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to see some former alumnus checking in to see how the current students are doing. Cathal Doyle, famous for the colours in 2006, 2007.
Did he pick up a yellow card in that game? If he didn't, it would have been the only one.
And an excellent crossfield kick there from Trinity.
And
I think Trinity have certainly at 9 and 10 they've been more dominant despite the reputations of UCD's 9 and 10 so far. I think that Rowan Osborne has been my man of the match so far. He's been everywhere. His passing has been excellent, as is his distribution, finding the corners well.
I always say to beware of players that wear black boots. You know that? And Rowan Osborne certainly black boots, no messing around, and he's been bloody good tonight.
An unusual off the top move there from UCD. Safe to say wasn't called, and spilled again.
Yeah, spilled over. It's good pressure by Trinity, and again a little bit of a momentum shift. And you do well to get the ball back, and then you turn it over like that. Don't know if it comes across on the camera, but it is absolutely teeming down here.
Yeah.
Still 6-5 UCD. Can't be much in the game at the end, but
I'd just like to shout out with this break in the play. We had a great, lovely little mascot on the pitch there before the game, Stephen O'Dwyer, 6 years of age, going to Willow Park at the moment. So scores remain 6-5 to UCD.
Let's have a go, Emmett!
that's Bart Vermeulen on at. He's come on at tight head for Trinity here in the scrum.
We've had some commentary in the for our feedback booth. I'd like to just retract a prior statement. A sheep's heart was allegedly thrown in the 1998 colours match. Chip through. It's the first time that's been tried tonight.
Yeah, and there's
Well
been space there
collected.
the whole game.
Trinity again on the march. Great attacking front football here. UCD will need to be strong in the tackle, and they have been so far. Chopped initially by Richie Bergen again. Slower ball.
And Trinity again now with an advantage and a free play and shift into this side is Rob Russell. If the
Huge
ball
amount of
comes
space if they can
across
get it
to him.
behind. There's kicks it.
Gone
Trinity
through.
kicking behind. And offside. Rob Russell there looked like he was nailed on for his second try of the match, but is slightly ahead of the kicker.
This one should be routine enough, just in front of the posts. Bring the score probably up to 8-6 and is probably changing in kicking duties now for James Fennelly to add to his substantial AIL tally, which is at 102 before this game.
In a similar position to Conal Doherty's missed effort earlier, we can't take for granted the conditions underfoot, despite the Belfield ball being in condition. Here was the kick through, and you can see from that really Rob Russell was just in front of the kicker. Possibly would have made it there. It looks like he did through the covering tackle of Nick McCarthy. But again, strong variation in attack from the out half, Michael Kennedy from Trinity. He's kicked to the corner as well. He's now chipped over the top. He's done all the basics right and relieved of kicking duties. So James Fennelly to take over.
Looks like we've got.
I'm reliably informed James Fennelly is also known as Jesus, so he will not need a miracle to knock this over. familiar routine from Fennelly there as he bounces up and down. Strong strike and through the posts. So Trinity take the lead 8 points to 6, their first lead of the match after 60 minutes gone, and I think, Vinny, a fair reflection on the game so far.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Fennelly has probably come on and made a little bit of a difference in terms of UCD having to look and check up in that open side now. He's adding something to the Trinity attack, and I really like the way Michael O'Kennedy is bossing it. He can, he's calling to play 1 or 2 runners, but then he's still looking to go. Even in the rain, he's still looking to play.
Testing restart there for Matt Gilson, taken very well between the legs. Unorthodox, it must be said, for Tom Tracy. Let's see what the touch judge gives.
I think he's given a Trinity ball here. Referee Gaffigan is happy to go with that decision. Again, it's very, very tough to legislate for what might be overheard on our microphones, but
we can't tell which side those supporters are from, but they are wearing black and red hats, so I can only assume Dublin University. Again, a strong... Unlucky in the conditions, Vinny, unlucky in the conditions.
Yeah, you
I
could
thought
say
Cian O'Dwyer did well there, but
I
suppose you have to give them if you see them. And you will be no stranger to Stuart Gaffigan's no-nonsense approach.
No, the only referee to red card me, so, yeah, I mean...
Is that correct?
That is correct, I think, yeah.
You sure there wasn't a red card at under 20?
That is correct, Joe.
Okay. That may have been the famous Mark Buckley.
Under 20s level doesn't register in the official document. So
I hope my tries at that level are still registered in the official documents.
I'll tell you something, that front row.
Coyne, Sheehan and Doyle doing well to win the scrum there, but referee Gaffigan judging it illegal. Conal Doherty, let's hope he's got his kicking boots on for UCD's sake to see if he will retake the lead. Looks like they're having another shot at goal. A much trickier attempt than the previous 3 attempts.
Yeah, and I think having a kicker of Conal Doherty's standard, I know he can hit them from this distance, no problem on a clear day, but slightly different with the weather that we have at the moment. Just looking in again, it's a long way out for a left footer, but no wind to contend with, or that we can see anyway, because there's no flags visible. It's a smashing strike from Doherty.
That's an excellent kick, really at the end of his range. UCD now ringing the changes in as Evan Coyle and Sam Griffin come on to the front row after a really strong shift there from Richie Bergen and what looks like Liam Hyland coming off there as well. So the scores now are 9-8 to UCD as they retake the league after 53 minutes. A really tense encounter here as the crowd in the sheltered section of the stand masses up, but again the several thousand beforehand. Here's Conal Doherty's kick again.
Conal Doherty is it's bang on and good connection with the ball, which is no mean feat in these conditions. But meanwhile, the ball has been played from the restart. Trinity and UCD have taken it well, set up 2 plays, and hopefully will build an exit here from Nick McCarthy.
Strategy-wise, this hasn't yielded much return for them, the kick exit, but I guess.
Well, that's a much better connection, and they put that quite long.
Well taken there from Niall O'Riordan as he carries hard. Matt Gilson pushed out by a very tough left forehand by the looks of things, but the referee's happy to play on.
Yeah, and I think it's for the best, Joe. Just play on. It's a colours game. And
well over there from 18, just on the pitch there, Sam Griffin, as he looks for the turnover. Referee has none of it. And again, O'Riordan pins back Nick McCarthy. Let's see if we can find a good
Nick's
touch here.
decided to play that himself. And that is, you know what, that's not a bad touch there. Certainly the worst thing Nick could have done was to force anything coming out of his own 22. Bring and play to the Trinity or to the UCD 10-metre line, and given how the line-outs have been going, it's not necessarily a banker to win your own ball tonight. And UCD putting pressure on at 2 and 4 and leaving 6 free. In this case, they've gone with a 6-man. Is it a 6? It is a 6-man. And it's probably going to come down the front if they see it. No, got up in the middle.
That's loose. close though. Let's see if UCD react. Again, a big carry there from scrum half Rowan Osborne. He really has been electric tonight. Trinity just need to be careful to stay on their feet given these conditions. UCD defending well. Again, good carry from Phil Murphy.
It's good work of the breakdown from Trinity. UCD just putting one man in to really pressure the ball. Again, it's Matt Gilson this time. He's crocodile rolled out.
Again, the pressure really telling here, Vinny. There's an opportunity here for UCD if they can recycle though. And not a bad kick in behind.
Kicked it away.
Putting Rob Russell under pressure. Misses it in the first attempt. Andy Marks to tackle. He got to make this tackle or there's a serious opportunity for Trinity. Another big hit there from replacement Sam Griffin. Pins Trinity back in their own half. Looks like
there is space there, and again it's
the industrious Rowan Osborne.
Yeah, Osborne's just threatened that space. It's kept the UCD defence pretty honest.
Good tackle there from Tom Tracy. And Keane Prendergast, but it's very strong carrying from Johnny McKeown. Very strong carrying indeed.
Just two at the back here for UCD. It looks like it'll be Nick Peters underneath this with Conal Doherty inside.
Osborne sets up for the box kick. Again, no particular distance on it. Nick McCarthy comes for it. Under no real pressure there, Johnny McKeown, despite being surrounded by 3 UCD players. Pick and go gains of another 3-4 yards from flanker Max Carney. And again, Osborne looks to set the backs free. Well read there out the back for 13, but he's put himself under pressure.
It's a really clever play by Michael O'Kennedy there. You know, he just holds the ball long enough, waits for you to defender.
James Hickey screaming for
good
the ball
of a free
wide,
play here. Like Andy Marks underneath it. Luckily, to go with 2 hands above your head's always risky. He takes it well. That's still a penalty for Trinity back just outside.
Good sportsmanship there from James Hickey.
It's probably worth a shot, putting the ball across field like that, but Andy Marks was well able to take it, even under pressure.
Time to reflect, actually, Vinny, on the decision during the week to leave the roof open on the Belfield Bowl. What do you think drove that decision?
I think when Bobby Byrne and Tony Smead came together and they discussed it, you know, given that there was no roof, I think they came to a pretty good conclusion, and it was amicable.
We'll see how that affects the rest of the game. Joined by some young UCD supporters here at the front of the clubhouse. Great to see so many young faces supporting the College Blue, and of course the enviable smile of Kevin Croke.
It is a good smile, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Certainly cost them a bit. I wouldn't say it's all natural.
I wouldn't like to comment. The smile that sank 1,000 hearts.
Yeah. So 9-8 to UCD, this to put Trinity in the lead.
Finally to bring us tied to 108 points. A familiar bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's gone for a 5th. He's really
6,
milking it now, Vincent.
7, 8.
Will it be successful?
Really good kick from
excellent kick there from James Fenley. More of a 7-iron there, I'd say, than a 9-iron.
I think that was, yeah, it's a 7. I mean, we've had all the clubs out tonight, but that's certainly a good connection there.
So, as we say, Trinity take the lead, 9 points to 11, and we have 11 minutes left to play. All to play for here in UCD Bowl. Good take on the fly from Rowan Osborne as he clears kick, spiralling and into touch.
And you see in the replay there, it's a low trajectory, the clever way to kick in these conditions. UCD just need to build something to get them into that final third here.
I think UCD will take hope from the fact that they've created very little, but they have led for large parts of this game. So if they are indeed to click, and a big line-out recovery there.
Yeah, playing a 5-man just inside the Trinity half and probably undercooked in the throw, but it still gets away.
An excellent tackle there from 7, Max Carney. Good counter-rucking again from Giuseppe Coyne, top try scorer in the Trinity's side, of course, this season with 5 touchdowns. Matt Gilson with a kick through. Let's see if it breaks for UCD, and there's an option here if they get through. Excellent cover tackle there from replacement UCD look to go right-hand side.
I tell you, just hold the ball here in this area of the field and they'll get something. Given what the way the game has gone so far, they'll pick up a penalty. UCD recover here. Trinity chop tackle really well, quick off the line the whole time. It's been difficult to break that initial line speed that they have, and they defend really well tight around the ruck.
Again, UCD have gone back to the tactics of the first half with this close-in carry, which yielded some success in those early forays, being a bit more pragmatic with the ball, but Trinity defence has been stout and resolute so far.
Yeah, it's some people might say it's ugly pick and go, but it's needs must here, and I think if UCD hold on to the ball for long enough, they will get something from it.
Given the conditions, even playing from a territorial perspective in the Trinity 22, it's certainly taking the pressure off.
Yeah.
Trinity again well set, need to be careful to stay onside. Likewise, UCD need to be careful to stay on their feet given the conditions, as the billows of smoke and steam fill the UCD ball. Great carry.
Trinity's still competing at these breakdowns, and that's worth it. That's definitely worth it. You've got to be careful. If UCD are going to play that type of game, they have to make sure they resource every single ruck. Here comes some changes. If the touch judge can't hear it, we can certainly hear it.
Number 3, Dylan Doyle, returning to the pitch, and number 21, P. Nolte, coming on for Trinity.
Probably a good time, Joe, to mention the sponsors, club sponsors, Crow, who've been with the club for...
Since 2013.
Yeah, and just meanwhile, you'll see them on the bottom left of the screen while we're watching this replay. Who was it that got in on the ball? Again, that ruck's okay.
4 or 5 carries later, I believe it is. Trinity off their feet, but they're getting away quickly. Mahan with the carry, again well wrapped up by hooker for the Trinity guy, Dan Sheehan. Another big carry again, but Trinity very forceful in the tackle. Some serious hits going on here on either side of the pitch. And eventually Trinity working the penalty.
That cheer that you heard in the background was a slice kick to touch from Trinity, which will give them a line out just outside their, maybe 10 yards just outside their 22.
And here's the penalty.
Couple of changes. See the penalty here.
Straight over the ball there.
Yeah,
gets his arm under a great position. UCD unable to move him. So we restart here with the Trinity Club.
Great line out under pressure from Trinity.
Big tackle there from UCD, number 8, Johnny Guy, after some excellent work in the line-out from Trinity. They're working hard and they're working well, but they're not making much by way of territory so far. Trying to work the angle for the box kick, it seems.
Yeah, and they've built... it's another cracking box kick. Yeah.
Andy Marks builds it forward and cleaned up by back row Cian O'Dwyer for Trinity.
Yeah,
again,
Andy
they're on the
Marks.
march here now with Ruben Pinn carrying well, losing 2 or 3 yards, but again setting the platform up for Trinity. They've got numbers here on the short side if they can work it. Slow ball, looks like they're going back to the kick.
You look at Michael O'Kennedy in the back.
Well taken by one of the smallest people on the pitch, Nick McCarthy.
Yeah.
But again, lost in the ruck. Well picked up by UCD if they can get this wide.
Oh!
It's very unlucky. But well cleaned up again by Rowan Osborne. How many Rowan Osbornes are playing tonight? Because it seems like there are several of them. I've never seen a scrum half performance on the UCD ball this good since
I know.
Since I was playing
that was
on the bench, watching you. For UCD versus Terranure College back in the 2003-2004 season.
Looking at the replay here, Osborne shifts it into the middle of the field. If you look at the work in the background of Michael O'Kennedy, he's just bossing. He's calling the play. He's calling the forwards around. He might not necessarily touch the ball every phase. He's giving the orders into Osborne. On this occasion, Osborne just absolutely.
Big McCarthy coming here with a good
clean
catch in the air, losing it on the ground, of course, and we go back to the action.
75th reset scrum of the day. We never got round to the sponsors, Joe.
I'd like to thank club sponsors here for UCD, Crow, who have been the main sponsor of the club since 2013. Also thankfully backed by AIB, Apple Green, Adidas and McCambridge's Bread. So thanks very much for supporting Club Rugby in Ireland, the lifeblood of the game. I think McCarthy feeds, sets himself an excellent platform this time. Gilson, first time, gets the ball. Conal Doherty, can he find the outside? He carries well, and over from...
It looks like they have an advantage for a high tackle. That's the in-fashion seatbelt penalty at the moment. Seatbelt there.
In this case, seatbelts are bad for your health.
It's an unusual name to give it, but yeah.
I think it's due to the shape of it being similar to that of a seatbelt in a car, rather than that of an airplane, which would be legal.
Yeah, they never really thought about that, but yeah, I mean, certainly an airplane seatbelt is potentially a way to model a good tackle.
Speaking of technicalities, it'll take some significant technical ability to get the ball in here for Richie Bergen in these difficult conditions. Emmet McMahon and Tom Tracy have worked well so far, but the ball hasn't been great. UCD bravely go to 4. McMahon
Goodness, it's
caught ball watching a little bit there. As Trinity's Johnny McKeown steals. Again, UCD fanning out and Trinity putting them under pressure.
4.5 minutes left. Score is still 11 points to Trinity and 9 to UCD. Osborne setting up on a box kick again. Really good height in there. It's Nick McCarthy and
Conal Doherty comes very well, and he breaks through a strong handoff. Max Bergen over the top there, he's securing the ruck. Nick McCarthy goes wide with it.
Hold some possession here.
Sam Griffin a little bit too eager, has the hand out. He's done well, Sam Griffin, since he came on, won some ball and tackled well, but he will not be happy with that, Vinny.
It's a tough pass to take. Conditions are tough, although it's not as heavy rain as it was, but yeah, the pass got to be higher.
Let's go back and have a quick look at that now, as we've got about 4 minutes or so left on the clock.
Again, it's a really good box kick from Osborne, gives everybody enough time to get underneath it and not necessarily win the ball in the air, but win the next phase off it is what Trinity have done really well all night.
Conal Doherty coming from deep here, you can see calling a big strong call up in the air, carries, breaks through 4 or 5 tackles and a nice handoff, and back to the action we go. Good scrum there from UCD, putting Osborne under pressure, but he kicks it very, very well and finds what looked like a safe touch, but Doherty manages to keep it inside.
Conal Doherty tried outside of the boot, it's gone right back.
UCD cover defence up pretty well.
Yeah, and that's Fennelly just putting the ball into that space.
Behind Max Deegan. Let's see what he can do. Ross Deegan, first real touch of the ball in this half.
Yeah,
breaks through 3 tackles up the right hand side. Again, hit very, very well there with the covering tackle. Needed to happen because he was making momentum. McCarthy recycles. First bit of quick ball that UCD have had so far. Haven't really gone through the hand so far, Vinny. What do you think?
No, it's plenty of space if they can go, but if UCD go here, there's something. I mean, it's 3 on the 4, 5, 6 on 4 if they see it. Gilson and the space is in behind. One bounce here for UCD, misses everybody. It's Fennelly straight through the middle and he hits ahead.
Interesting call there from Gilson, and the ball's still live. The ball's still live. Is that live? Is it a knock on? It looks like it's a knock on.
It's a knock on, and there's
a lot of interesting exchanges in that passage of play.
It
was a clever kick forward from UCD, read best by replacement. James Fennelly chips over the top. Matt Gilson stood his ground. Let's get a replay on that one, hopefully. And there's a chase for the line.
Yeah, we'll have a
so
look
here
at
we
it
go.
here.
Again, clever kick from Gilson. Bounce fools everybody. Fennelly, the only one to read it, breaks through again. Chips it. Gilson stands his ground. Questionable there. Trinity break through the speed of Max Carney touching down there, but just a knock on at the last
really
moment.
good refereeing by Gafkin there. There's nothing in it. He's straight up. Gilson holds his ground, and you run into him. That's fine. And I think both teams are.
That exchange is good as a score though to Trinity. It's a long way back from the 5 metre line there for UCD, and
it
they'll
is,
have to be ambitious with just a minute and a half on the clock. 11-9 to Trinity, 2-point lead, 2 minutes to go, with Conor Lowndes on the touch line there looking to come on for Trinity.
20 seconds on the main clock here in the ground.
Conor Lowndes, Ireland under 19, looking to replace, by the looks of things, Boston bound Rob Russell. We'll see what the touch judge puts up. Quick big mention for Phil Murphy there in the Trinity side, full centre. Swedish international, I believe you told me earlier.
He is, yeah, and I mean that's certainly an achievement because he's been really, really good tonight. And you know, playing international rugby back and forth, college studying, and then being able to turn up and do what he's done the colours match, yeah, you know, it's a really good thing for him. And you know, representative of college rugby, of guys being able to mix a couple of different things together. There's Nick McCarthy out there with Leinster going to Munster, studying and able to put that performance in.
Career, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. So just looking to see who that is coming off. It looks to me like the nippy Ronan Quinn that has come off, but I remain to confirm that. Let's see if UCD have ambition to get out here or whether they take the pragmatic approach of contesting the line-out with the long touch. Scrum solid so far. Ball in the back for McCarthy, gets it to out half Matt Gilson, who goes for the short kick in the 22. It looks like it really favours UCD, and again another knock on, putting UCD under pressure. Harem-scarum stuff, Vinny, harem-scarum stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't criticise the intent and the effort there. Gilson, there is space there, but you've got to be bang on with that kick and the chase. You could say it's risky, but you need a score to win it. You're at the other end of the pitch, so why not throw the kitchen sink at it now?
1 minute to go, Trinity tightening things up for the first time, about 40 seconds or so left on the clock. 11 points to 9 leaders at the moment. Took the lead through two penalties to put them 11-9 up to the 3 Conor Doherty penalties. Again, big carries from Trinity, 7-8 yards made. They're a metre short, they're held up at the moment. UCD will need to scramble for defence. Trinity huge numbers if they can recycle, and they're through under the post. That looks to be the deciding score. 16-9 to Trinity with the conversion to come. Looks to me like there's only injury time. Let's see what the referee has to say about that. There's been 2 or 3 stoppages, but nothing of note. We'll see the replay here. Some really strong carries from Trinity.
Certainly deserve this. You know, you fall off one tackle in your own 10-15 yards out. It's very hard to shift the momentum back in your favour. Trinity still capitalise on it.
And a big carry there from
again,
Giuseppe
they've
Coyne.
made ground the whole way through the game, just around that ruck.
Giuseppe Coyne, Trinity top scorer with 5 tries, makes it 6.
And Joe, it's just about time for our man of the match, and I don't think we have any debate about this one. I think Rowan Osborne is for sure the star of the show.
I think I have to agree. There's been some good performances around the park, in particular in the back row on a dirty night like tonight. Max Carney, Johnny McKeown, Alex Penny and Cian Bredesen have done well. Matt Gilson in at 10 had distributed pretty well despite the conditions, as had Michael O'Kennedy kicking his corners, but absolutely standout man of the match has been Rowan Osborne. His excellent distribution, his excellent kicking and reading of the game has been the winning of the game for Trinity.
Yeah.
And it's 18 points to 9 to Trinity at the moment. UCD will of course look to try and come back because the bonus point's still very relevant in the relegation fight, and they will look to get something out of this game, and deservedly so.
Looking both up and down the table, Trinity now really are in a good position to get into those playoff spots. Meanwhile, UCD will definitely have to fight for a bonus point here. Change at scrum half.
Big take needed from Johnny Guy. Looks like he was taken out in the air, and referee agrees with me. UCD will need to capitalise on this opportunity. I'd say it's still outside the range.
Yeah, I mean, Conal Doherty will probably have a look at it.
Again, apologies for the language of the Trinity supporters in front of us.
Yeah, I don't think Conal Doherty was going to go. If there's enough time, that's a good decision. Get into the corner, see if you can get a try. Go again. Fair play.
UCD deep inside the 20, well, just inside the 22, it must be said. UCD really need to be accurate with this now. This is last chance saloon stuff.
There's Brian Cawley on, and I think this could be his 10th.
And a secure take, is it?
10 colours for Brian Cawley and 197 appearances for UCD first team. That's what we were told before the games. It's unbelievable. Between himself and Emmett McMahon in this UCD team, you could be into nearly 300 odd club appearances in the second row.
Absolutely. Comparing that with the Trinity side that have 15 starting debutants this evening, there's a real dearth of experience, but they have managed to make up for that, for their youthful exuberance.
Yeah, and they, they've been really clinical. They got into the 22, they come away with points nearly every time. And
UCD might look to just work their way towards a drop goal. 3 points is really all they need here to get the bonus point, to try. Just as useful to them given the 9-point gap.
Yeah, they've got Matt Gilson who can drop a goal from here. They've got Conal Doherty who will offer himself on the left if it comes back this way. But
big carry again from Brian Cawley. They need to be quick here, the UCD support. Trinity have been all
Gilson
over their ball.
is dropping back, is he?
Again, great job tackling from Trinity. It must be said they've been very consistent in the back row defensively. UCD's real main source of attack has been through the middle, and since that's been shored up from the defensive side in Trinity, they've made little progress. But this is good, consistent carrying from UCD, doing well to stay on their feet. Now working their way onto the 22, right in front of the post. It would take an ambitious drop goal from there, I think. Brian Cawley again, feet lifted up. Yeah. Surprise for a penalty, but the referee having none of it.
It's gone
again,
flat.
great
That's
carry
a
there from Johnny Guy, it must be said.
Johnny Guy,
finds a gap. It's the first bit of progress UCD have made. Again, hands go up searching for a penalty, but the referee, very consistent so far this evening, has had a very good game. Big tackles again there from 13, James Hickey, and back row Max Carney.
You'd assume the referees told him last play here, Joe. Can't really figure it out from here. You've got Conal Doherty, has dropped back to look for that drop goal. It'll have to be on his left
Ball's
foot.
live and well scooped up there from UCD.
He has the range, Doherty. He definitely has the range to go. Whether or not he pulls the trigger from here is tricky when you're on the back foot. Maybe a couple more carries just takes the sting out of the block down chasers. Space through the middle there, that's the space that Trinity have taken all night. UCD have gone into that space themselves here now.
It can't be underestimated the physical toll this level of defensive accuracy has taken on the Trinity side. They've done incredibly well to hold UCD out, as has the concentration of UCD been impressive so far.
Yeah, it's not like a classic wide colours game, but certainly in terms of physicality it's been pretty brutal, and both teams are going to be absolutely shattered at the end of this. But look, there's more than one way to play the game, and conditions like this is Trinity have had to adapt, and they've done really well.
Again, quick turnover. Looks like Trinity have got themselves to the other side of the ball, and UCD have the penalty. They would be crazy to go quickly there. There was a dummy, but I don't think anyone was buying that one. Conal Doherty will look to find the bonus point for UCD, I think, here, given the 9-point deficit. This is the opportunity that they're asking for.
18 points to 9, Doherty to bring this up to 18-12 and hopefully rescue a losing bonus point for UCD. It's been a cracking game, not necessarily in terms of you tuned in to see the ball being flung about, but Trinity very quickly, after a few early efforts at going wide, adapted. They've played.
They've definitely managed the conditions better, it must be said.
Yeah, they have, and
they're full value for their win, but I think a losing bonus point would be justified for the
really
the college
impressive.
outfit.
Looking at Osborne, his work in around the breakdown.
And a great strike there
Yeah,
from Conal Doherty, just inside the right upright.
So probably a fair reflection. Conal Doherty strikes that just inside the right post. UCD will get the losing bonus point here at the UCD Bowl. Final score 18 points to Trinity. They're delighted with that win, and 12 to UCD.
I'd like to thank you all for joining in this evening. Trinity have been full value for their 18-12 win. I'd like to thank the club sponsors Crow, AIB, Apple Green, Adidas, McCambridge's. They're all supporting grassroots rugby.
It's still a classic fixture here, like look at the crowd, it still brings, it's a manky night, but there's still a great crowd on the far side underneath the stand. It's a fixture that you always look forward to as player, as coach or supporter, and it still means so much to both these guys. I think it's got to be the one that you want to play in when you join a college rugby team. Absolutely,
absolutely. And it's one of the highlights of the college season. Great to see 3 university sides in the top division of the IAL with UCC, UCD and Dublin University all competing at the highest honours. Just shows that student rugby is in good health work of the Irish Universities Rugby Union, again evident this year after their successful victory of the Scottish University side earlier in the year. And I think some of the talent on show this evening has proven that, again, this is a place to come and watch excellent flowing rugby. Tonight, not the night for wide rugby, as you mentioned, Vinny, but certainly it was a different type of rugby, and the team that adapted to the condition best was always likely to succeed. In this case, Trinity have gone for 2 in a row in terms of colours. First time they've done that for over a decade, so success indeed. Thanks very much for joining us this evening, and we will no doubt speak to you next year.
Playing at the highest level in Ireland since 1910.
The values of teamwork and leadership exhibited by the players on and off the field continue to be a great inspiration for our firm and our staff. Crow is proud to be the official club sponsor of UCD Rugby. Like the club, our firm recognises the importance of investing in the training and development of young talent.
We're very privileged to have Crow as a main club sponsor. They supported us when we needed it most, and it's a relationship we deeply value.
Since becoming sponsors in 2013, we've seen the club go from strength to strength, developing players that compete at the highest level.
The club has produced many notable players over the years who have gone on to wear the Irish jersey and also represent the British and Irish Lions. Players like Brian O'Driscoll, Mick Doyle and Fergus Slattery, to name just a few. More recently, players like Gary Ringrose, Rob Carney, Josh Van der Fleer and Dan Levy are making a big impact on the Irish team and were part of the 2018 Grand Slam squad. Support from our sponsors, like Crow, has also enabled the club to further develop our women's rugby teams and establish what has become a hugely successful tag rugby programme.
The relationship we've fostered with UCD Rugby gives us the opportunity to interact with players and attend a range of social events throughout the year. Our employees have also been able to support the club's charity initiatives. For example, we joined players to fundraise for cancer research over the last few years.
It's Crow's loyal support that ensures the club continue to focus on what we do best, developing young talent and ensuring our players reach their potential, both personally and professionally.
Crow wishes UCD Rugby continued success. We're extremely proud of our long-standing relationships with the club, the players, coaches and managers.